From your grandma's backyard barbecue.
I'm Cody,
And I'm Tyler.
and this is the Edible Attitude Podcast. Hey everyone! We just want to take a second and say thank you for all your support and feedback on this journey.
It has helped so much. We appreciate you and we love you for everything that you do to help us.
Thank you so much. We hope you keep hanging out with us. So, man, you want to hear something crazy?
I would love to hear something crazy.
Have you ever heard of the Ariel school UFO incident?
No, I have not.
Never ever?
No, not till just now.
Well, prepared to be questioning some things, I guess. So, in September of 1994, there was a UFO sighting outside Rua, Zimbabwe. 69 people. Nice.
Nice.
At the Ariel school, aged between 6 and 12, claimed that they saw one or more silver crafts come from the sky and land in a field near their school.
So, are we talking about silver, like a dime color? Or are we talking about silver?
Just like silver, yeah.
Like real shiny silver?
Shiny silver, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, like a shiny ship, UFO ship.
Okay.
A few creatures dressed in all black then approached the kids and telepathically communicated with them.
So they were wearing black suits? Or they were just wearing black?
They were just dressed in black.
What if they're like you ever seen that picture of the dogs playing poker and some of them are wearing black suits?
Mm-hmm.
What if they're like that, but they're not?
Like the Men in Black?
Yeah, but they're not playing poker.
Is this where the Men in Black come from?
The
Yeah, they're
actual
supposed to
ones.
be a real entity as well. There's speculation that it's between 1 and 4 creatures with big eyes dressed in all black. They came down and visited the kids and communicated with them telepathically. They were telepathically communicating that they were concerned about the environment currently. This is 1994. They were something with concerns about the way the Earth environment was going, and this scared the children, causing them to scream and cry and freak out.
Right.
Okay.
As any normal child should do.
Right.
When big-eyed, black-wearing
creatures
come out of nowhere.
communicate with them telepathically.
and then tell them that, oh, we're concerned with the environment. You're like, yeah, that would be my reaction too, man. Like, what do you think? Like, oh no, that's cool, Mr. Alien. We want to help the world too. In Zimbabwe, though.
Yes, yep, in Zimbabwe. They freaked them kids out. This incident has been called one of the greatest UFO incidences of all time, actually. Like, it's one of the big ones.
More than Roswell?
It's up there, especially of like the 90s. It's a big one. Not all the kids at the school claim to see this. There's only the 69. There was more kids there. Several of those that did maintain that their account of the incident is true. So a lot of the kids who did see this still maintain to this day. They're still alive to this day. It was just 1994. So they're a little older than us, probably. Mid 30s, 40s, somewhere in that range is how old these kids would be today.
Huh.
These adults are now. A lot of them still claim it to be true. So Rua, the area that this was located in, right, is a small agricultural center located about 14 miles southeast of the capital, Harare. At the time of the incident, it was not a local town, but a local place, little more than a crossroads in an agricultural region. It was just, out in the middle of nowhere. Country, as you might say.
Country.
Yeah, just a country little village,
little
basically.
podunk country town.
Yeah.
All right.
Unincorporated. But the school was an expensive private school.
Odd.
Filled mostly of wealthy white families in the area. So it wasn't podunk at all.
But it was unincorporated.
Yeah.
But it was a pricey white school.
Right in the middle of nowhere.
Like strictly what? That sounds weird.
Most of them, not all of them. Most of it was wealthy white kids, though. I don't know how it works out, but it was just like a crossroads in a farmland region, agricultural, rural area with a rich white school in the middle of it. 2 days before the incident at the school, there had been a number of UFO sightings throughout South Africa.
Ooh.
I don't know how many. It was just like A bunch, from what I understand.
A bunch of
A
them.
bunch of UFO sightings in South Africa.
Were they all the same, like silver disked ones?
I don't believe so, because some of the reports were of like bright fireballs passing through the night sky. So almost like comets, I guess. But they must have had a different tone to them that made them think it was something more than that.
Interesting. Well, obviously it's going to be a UFO if they don't know what it is because it's unidentified.
Right. There was a radio station that was requesting people to call in and report what they were seeing within these few days, and a lot of people did interpret these fireballs as comets or meteors. It resulted in like a mass UFO mania at the time in Zimbabwe. It
Ooh.
was kind of causing a little hysteria. And yeah.
In 1994, huh?
Yep. So I was 1.
I was 3.
Yeah. Do you remember? Because they say long form memory starts around that age. You remember this?
I do
Were
not.
you watching the BBC, little bro?
Probably not,
Yeah,
because
probably.
I had Nickelodeon.
You probably weren't even on that at the time, let's be honest. You're probably just crawling around. No, you're walking at that age.
I don't know. I was probably
Playing, just
breaking
playing.
shit,
Yeah. Just smashing things.
smashing things with my child hands.
Within these 2 days, there was also a daylight reporting by a young boy and his mom. And there was also a report of aliens being on the road by a trucker.
The same kind of aliens, or just aliens?
Just aliens. It was what was reported. There was no in-depth report on it. Just aliens in the road by a trucker.
Probably a bunch of those rich white kids just walking around,
Dressed up,
dressed up,
causing mayhem in the night.
just causing mayhem. Yeah.
Cooing at people. Go! Go! When this happened, they were at school. So it was like, this happened during the day too. It was 10 in the morning
Huh.
when this event happened.
10 in the morning.
Yeah, they're outside with their mid-morning break, recess, whatever you want to call it. Outside hanging out, getting some sunshine, some vitamin D. The adult faculty, the teachers, were inside having a meeting at the time. No teachers were outside. No supervision for these kids.
Well, yeah, it's 1994.
They were left. True. They were left outside to fend for themselves in
this podunk, rich, white African town.
Is there not like lions all throughout Africa? Is it a very small region that lions are in?
I got no idea.
How do you just leave kids outside in the African wilderness?
Maybe they had a fence because it's a uppity neighborhood.
True, they're all fenced in, brick and mortared.
Well, maybe just like an electric fence behind a wooden fence.
High security school.
I mean, to keep the lions out, man.
Sounds like a fucking prison.
That sounds, yeah, like a prison.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think they're
like
putting
the
those rich
yard.
little white kids in a prison. Yeah.
You guys want to go out in the yard for some sun?
That's crazy.
Teacher, why does the fence shock me?
So these kids are outside alone. They meet the aliens. No teachers around. Crying and freaking out. Teachers still don't know. The kids go back into class and tell their teachers, and their teachers are like, nah. They just dismiss the whole thing and continue on with the day.
I mean, would you believe kids?
69 of them get together and tell you the big story, though. That's pretty impressive. So they went home. They told their parents. Many of their parents came to the school the next day to discuss what happened with the teachers. The sighting was then reported to that same radio station that we had talked about earlier.
Yeah.
That was asking for people to call in. So this was all within like 3 days, right? 2 days. The 2 days prior to this, all the sightings. The third day, this happened.
Right.
3-day stretch of crazy alien shit capped off by them landing at a school and interacting with 69 children.
And telling them that they're worried about the environment.
Yeah. Like destruction. End of the earth.
So we got some tree hugger aliens that are trying to help us.
Yeah. They just tied themselves
to the fence post.
To the base of the fence post and said, not today, Satan.
Not today.
Not today. So then the BBC got wind of this.
Oh.
The BBC correspondent in Zimbabwe.
Interesting.
Tim Leach. Okay.
Come on, Timmy, what you gonna do?
So he visited the school 3 days later on the 19th of September to film interviews with the kids and staff. He investigated it, and after investigating the incident, he claimed he could handle war zones, but he could not handle this.
So he said, "No, thank you to the aliens. I'd rather take a war."
He was more comfortable being in a live war zone than talking with these children about meeting aliens. That's how uncomfortable he was.
Wild. That's
People dying around him. Those reporters are probably more in the depths of things than current. We get more technology for them to view things now that they don't have to be quite frontline.
like drones and stuff.
Right. But back then, they were probably out there in the nitty gritty more or less.
Oh yeah,
And with this, he's like,
ain't gonna
nope,
happen.
he
No,
couldn't do it.
I'm not about that life.
I can't imagine what was going through his mind to feel that way comparing the two. There's another person, Hind, I think. Hind, something like that. Hind visited the school the next day on the 20th of September. She interviewed the kids and asked them to draw pictures of what they had seen. And she reported that the kids had told her the same story. So the first guy, Tim, came 3 days after the incident, heard the same story the kids had said then, and the fourth day, same story again. So these kids are maintaining their story. It's not switching up. They're maintaining their story throughout 4 days.
Which is important in these situations, especially when you're being interviewed.
If you've ever really interacted with a liar, eventually their story ends up breaking. It
Right.
seems, right? It's hard for a
It
liar to keep their story forever.
yeah, it deviates and they forget something.
Can't remember all the details of every lie. And especially this number of children.
Yeah, consistently.
69 children maintaining the same story for 4 days.
I mean, that's wild.
It's crazy. It's mind-boggling.
It's like they're really good at playing telephone
Yeah.
for 4 days straight.
I mean, I guess we do know at this point, according to the White House, that UFOs are a thing. They came out and admitted it.
I mean, that could be a number of things. You never know because it's
Yeah.
unidentified.
Yeah, and they don't call them UFOs anymore, I don't think. It's UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Phenomena.
Phenomena.
Do.
So Hind is a Harvard professor.
So why'd they send a Harvard professor? So a reporter couldn't
and
handle it.
A reporter and a professor. So that November, this happened in September, and then November, a couple months later, a Harvard professor, he's a professor of psychiatry. His name was John Mack. He visited the school to interview witnesses. Throughout the 1990s, Mack had investigated UFO sightings and had a lot of interest in alien abduction phenomenon. In May 1994, the dean of Harvard Medical School, Daniel Toastiston, something like that, appointed a committee of peers to confidentially review Mack's clinical care and clinical investigation of the people who had shared their alien encounters with him. So this John Mack guy, he did a bunch of UFO investigations about sightings and people interacting with them in the 90s. He had wrote some books and things and papers. The issue was that he had communicated to people that their experiences may have been real. He wasn't just investigating. He was kind of like pushing them like, hey, yeah, it definitely could have been, man. Like egging them on more. So people might have been more likely to fabricate what they were saying. So according to the interviews of Hind, Leach, and Mack, 62 children between the ages of 6 and 12 claimed to have seen at least one UFO. This is all three reports combined. Dozens more children who were present stated that they had not seen any UFO or anything unusual. The collection of all three states that 62 had seen at least one UFO that day. A whole bunch of kids had said that they had not seen anything. No UFO, nothing.
They just had their day.
They just had their day.
Okay.
So there's a big split. There's a group that said they had seen at least one thing or more.
Right.
Varying accounts. It's not all the same story. There's varying accounts amongst the kids. The kids are keeping their stories, but it's varying accounts.
Right.
And there's a group that didn't see anything, just had their day.
Just chilling.
Just hanging out.
Normal day.
The basic details were all consistent, although not all were. Like, they weren't all the details were the same, but a lot of them were very consistent throughout the kids. Wasn't a perfect match throughout them all, but a lot of the kids had a lot of the same details.
Everything was starting to make some sense.
Some kids said there was one object. Some kids said there was multiple objects. usually described as discs and in the sky, silver discs. Then they floated down to a field of small brush and small trees just outside of the school property. So outside the electric fence, outside of the jail school,
outside of the jail school.
outside of the snipers, the UFO landed. But we must remember the snipers were inside at a faculty meeting.
They were figuring something out.
They probably knew it was happening and wanted to see what was going to happen. They were paid off by the American government, like every good
Oh
conspiracy
God,
is.
here we go. Yeah, all the teachers just went inside, sat there, and were just looking.
Right.
They're just making sure that these kids better do this goddamn experiment.
Right.
So help me.
Another one of the descriptions was between 1 and 4 big-eyed creatures. Big eye was a big theme, I guess. But between 1 and 4 were the accounts. Some kids only seen 1, some kids seen 4.
4 aliens?
Yeah. Dressed in black.
With big eyes.
Big eyes.
What color were they? Green? Gray. They're gray.
I don't remember a color. They might have been gray. They exited a craft and approached the children. At this point, a bunch of children ran.
Like immediately.
Yeah.
I would too.
The smaller kids. But some of the mostly older kids stayed and watched as they approached. According to Mac's interviews, the creature or creatures then telepathically communicated to the children about an environmental issue.
Just the whole environment? Or did they specify which area in the environment they were specifically worried about?
It was regarding concerns for environmental protection and improvement of the health of the environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Just the earth.
What helpful big-eyed individual.
And then they left.
They didn't do nothing, huh? They just told the kids,
They
hey.
just said that and left.
I feel like it was a bunch of teenage aliens just messing with them, be like, hey, you know, it'd be funny if we just go prank these kids real quick, make them think they're crazy, just gaslight the shit out of them.
Right. Just fucking gaslight the shit out of them. I mean, it's probably going bad, but it ain't bad yet. But guess what? You think it's going to be.
Man, I'm bored today. What do you want to do? Let's go prank some earthlings. I always thought that was the funniest shit ever. I heard that in high school. Some kids like, what if aliens just prank us and they're not actually trying to do anything because they don't seem like they're helping in any way, shape, or form. They're just like either appearing in front of people or taking people.
Right.
It varies.
Just fucking around.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always thought these experiences that some people have with just like them appearing and then leaving right away and saying some of the most cryptic shit ever is so funny to me. Yeah. Because all I can imagine is that they're like, hey, we got to put on these weird ass costumes and walk out here and try to interact with these people. We got to play it perfectly. And they set the entire thing up and record it and everything. And after they
That's their live TV show.
Yeah.
Messing with humans, messing with Sasquatch.
After they get back to the ship, they start high-fiving and shit.
That's their commercial breaks. And then they just went to their crafts and flew away. They didn't do nothing else.
Just disappeared.
They said, hey, we don't like this and we're leaving. According to Dunning, the telepathic message aspect of the story was not included in Hind or Leach's report, only Mac's. Well, Hind reported it later, but not initially. So I don't know if she was just trying to catch on to the trend or what. But there was only Mac who had reported the telekinesis, whatever you want to call it. The other two did not, and then Hind reported it later on. So in another interview, one of the fifth graders tells how he was warned about something that's going to happen and how like it's going to be from pollution. You need to stop polluting. So we know they're concerned about pollution, possibly.
So hopefully this is the helpful group of aliens and not like, hey, I'm going to abduct you type people. Or maybe the same ones, just a different branch in their hierarchy.
True. One of the girls said, I think that they want people to know that we're actually making harm on this world and we mustn't get too technologed. Not too much technology.
Ooh. Warning
so
about the future.
AI is getting kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a forewarning of this stuff.
I seen that spaghetti eating video of the AI. That was wild.
High def weirdness.
Another
child said that he was told the world would end because they are not taking care of the planet.
Oh.
So we got a lot of pollution and technology. So the kids were very adamant that they had not seen a plane. A lot of the kids thought they had seen a lot of short little beings known as ticklelashes. Ticklelashes. I'm probably murdering how you say that. It's a small creature, dwarf-like creature, like water spirit, water sprite. It's mischievous and evil.
So like some mythical shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some
Okay.
cryptid type stuff.
Ooh,
If it drinks water or swallows a stone, it can turn invisible.
cause magic.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Why
Cause
not?
magic.
They're called upon by malevolent people to cause havoc and trouble for others.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But do they talk to humans about saving the environment?
Yeah, I don't think that's what the havoc would be, right?
They
It's
would.
kind of a weird thing to raise havoc about. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a great thing to raise havoc about, actually.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. But as a prank,
As some teenage aliens dressed up in costumes.
it could be. It quickly became one of the most famous UFO cases in Africa.
Ooh,
Right. In June of 2021, an episode of the BBC's Witness History described it as one of the most significant UFO events in history. So the
interesting.
BBC is calling it one of the most profound incidents of all time. Professional UFO people, ufologists, right?
Aliens.
Yeah, alien people. They cite it as one of the most compelling pieces of evidence of extraterrestrial alien visits to Earth. Skeptics say it's mass hysteria or even a prank, alien prank, maybe, like you said. Maybe
Yeah,
it's just a joke.
I'm going with alien prank because that sounds funnier.
But to skeptics, it wouldn't be an alien prank, right? It's just people prank, probably.
Yeah.
The kids swear they didn't see a plane. So it's not like people flew in on a plane and landed. There's also the thought of it's a rural school who didn't have a lot of technology, who didn't have a lot of access to TV, maybe. Like, how would they know what UFOs and aliens are necessarily?
Right.
Why would they make it up? This is what these kids see and reported. They have no reason to know these things
But it was a
from
rich
TV.
white school. Well,
But it's out in
maybe
the country.
maybe it was a prank by the school, and they're like, "Man, we got to get more people in our school." Type thing.
Maybe the teachers ran around the electric fence and stood out there.
Maybe they're the ones in the yeah.
Faculty prank. Let's get famous.
Gotcha.
There was critiques of the interview methods though. So she interviewed the children in groups of 4 to 6, which in my opinion would kind of contaminate the stories then of the children.
How so?
Because they would feed off each other and be like, "Oh yeah, okay, maybe that's what I did see." You
In
know,
like a smaller group, you mean?
I mean, usually interview one-on-one.
Right. That
Yeah.
yeah.
With children, that's a dangerous game. Obviously, a parent should be with, maybe at least.
Right.
You know,
As like
just
a
wait till the
mediator.
parent gets there. Yeah. In groups, yeah, group interviews kind of tough, I think, for getting the information straight. People just feed off each other a lot.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
They're easily swayed too. If one person in the group's like, this was it. This is definitely what I see, and other people are more laid back or timid per se, and they're like, okay, yep, they're right.
Yeah.
You know,
That person.
Yep.
I'm going with that person.
agreed. I second that. That's where some of these interviews are skepticized per se. And then Mac interviewed the children 2 months after the alleged sighting, and Dunning claims that Mac kind of like prompt and suggested the telepathic communication angle.
Maybe he was trying to forward some,
Trying to make
theory.
a name for himself.
Right,
maybe,
right,
kind of
right.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem very credible.
A ton of the witnesses still claim that what they reported is true, though. In 2014, Mail and Guardian spoke to a witness who said that she fears that the creatures will return. She can sense their presence when they're in the atmosphere. She knows when they're around now, like she's connected to them. This is one of the people.
Just one lady?
Just
Nobody
one
else?
lady claims it so far.
Huh.
Yeah. Another one. In 2016, witness Emily Trim exhibited paintings that she described as a manifestation of the messages she received from the beings that day.
Well, that was a mouthful.
Yeah, I like big words.
Big words.
This lady, she had an exhibit of paintings.
Interesting.
So
she colored a painting. It was
paintings.
Like, this is, multiple.
She had a whole exhibit.
Like, this is how I felt.
She had like an art gallery for herself that she bought, paid, whatever out, and exhibited all of her paintings of the messages she felt like she received from those aliens that day. She went out of her way to spend all that money and time Maybe to make money, try to get rich and famous. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe just to get attention. Maybe this is what really happened.
Yeah,
Who are we to say?
I guess we'll never know.
We may never know. Moist likely.
Moist likely.
Have you ever heard of Barstool Sports?
Yes.
So in 2021, one of their writers, Za, spoke in an interview about being one of the kids at the school that day.
What? That's a hell of a coincidence.
He recounted that he saw a bright light come down from the sky and aliens exit it. And that's really all we know. I mean, it's a lot of conflicting stories, a lot of conflicting interview methods.
They don't really line up with each other, and they're just kind of like, whatever, we're going to do this way and this way, and not work together in any way, shape, or form, so we can try to get our own story.
Right. It sounds like three individuals trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Just building off of some trauma.
Right.
That something had happened.
Yeah, I'd love to see a group of them get together now and, hear their stories and see in person. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there. There's a lot of things you can find online. A good documentary is The Phenomenon on Amazon that you can check out. It's good for info on this exact subject, actually, from what I understand.
Oh, sweet.
So if you want to find out more, get some more visual on it, maybe see some of the people.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, check it out. If you're enjoying this topic and would like to talk more about it,
you can find us at Edible Attitude or at Edible Attitude Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. So I found a similar story to the one that you were just talking about. So this one happened 28 years earlier, actually, in 1966.
Oh, shoot. 66. Okay.
But this one was in Australia, in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia.
So still like Southern Hemisphere warm.
Yep.
Okay.
This one is actually the largest mass UFO sighting in Australia.
Oh. Okay. So a large group.
Right. Of anything that was reported at the time as being a UFO in 1966.
Right.
Over 300 students and teachers saw this.
Holy smokes, dude. 300?
300.
300 people seen this event.
Yep.
Shut up. That's crazy.
They reported seeing a flying object described like you did as gray or a silvery green saucer-shaped craft with a slight, but not a lot, just a little, purple hue and about twice the size of a family car. So it was quite big.
Okay.
And reflective because it's silver.
Right. It's like a family car. Okay.
So according to these 300 people, it flew over the high school that they were at and disappeared behind like a group of trees. As it was descending, it flew over the high school.
Right.
And then, people are still outside freaking out. Reportedly, about 20 minutes later, it reappeared and climbed at speed and then departed quickly towards the northwest. And some people even described the object, this giant, massive van object,
right,
being pursued by 5 unidentified aircraft.
What?
Yeah, wild,
so,
right?
Wait, whoa, dude. Whoa. So it flew past the school, landed in some trees, hung out for a bit, and then rose and took off with 5 other fucking objects behind it?
5 other ones, yeah.
Holy smoke. So it's like were they smaller or bigger? I wonder.
No idea. They just said unidentified aircraft.
Is this Harry Potter?
It sounds like Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's flying cars?
No.
Are we gonna
bigger than that? Bigger than that.
Are we gonna have a Harry Potter reference every week? Is this what's gonna happen?
I mean, trying not to, but it seems like the constant theme at this point.
What's happening here?
A Australian newspaper that covered this story actually said that the object may have been a balloon.
Okay, but like a hot air balloon? So it just
like a weather balloon that the Weather Bureau had released at 3 a.m. That previous day.
I don't know about you, but I've never seen a balloon that cruises past somewhere, lands, and then takes off its speed. Takes off its speed means it's moving.
Right. So,
Um,
I mean, even if it was a hot air balloon, even a weather balloon,
yeah.
it's got a big old balloon
In
on it.
1966,
Right.
what kind of technology have they deleted that we don't? I just don't buy it. I'm not
Jet
buying it.
fuel. They discovered jet fuel, didn't want to tell
And then
anybody about it.
5 other objects came cruising behind it.
Right.
I ain't buying that.
Like model airplanes.
Yeah.
Would that be something?
You can sell me shit, but that don't mean I have to eat it,
Right.
you know?
So they also checked with the aircraft in the area to make sure, and there was no commercial, no private, and no RAAF pilots that were in the area at the time. So it wasn't planes.
Did they go investigate the area? Is there even a landing strip, like, somewhere a plane would land like that?
No
Plans need plans.
plans.
Planes need a runway to, they need some time to stop. They're not helicopters.
Right. So, and they just came out of nowhere. So
Right.
it's not like they landed with the balloon.
Dude, that's fucking crazy though.
It is. It really is.
This is way more interesting than the other one.
I mean, they coincide because there's hundreds of eyewitnesses, including both the teachers and the students.
Right.
According to this guy, his name's Keith, a high altitude balloon project was used to monitor the radiation levels after the British nuclear tests at this location, and that's what they were thinking that's what it was, which still doesn't make sense as to why it would go so fast if it was a weather balloon. The high altitude balloon also had a white silver appearance.
So we see a big theme here of the silver.
Right. And there are also reports that after the incident, men in suits cautioned some of the witnesses about not to discuss the details of the secret government exercise.
Hush, hush.
Yeah.
Men in Black.
But those people could have been just lying.
How curious. 2 schools. People dressed in black.
Yeah.
People dressed.
But no big eyes, though, or
Yeah.
telepathic.
Well, yeah, I mean, this was humans that was coming to them, right? It was a government.
Yeah.
Good old government.
According to that at the time.
Right. Did you say something about, like, atomic?
Nuclear tests.
Nuclear. There's
Yep.
nuclear tests in the area?
It was a ways away from the high school at the
Oh.
time. And in a different location.
From where they reportedly flew into?
Right.
Okay. Because there is a lot of reports of aliens and nuclear sites being tied together. Tons of reports about aliens going to nuclear sites. It's one of the theories that they're attracted to, or what they're here to study, our use of nuclear power.
Which would make sense if the aliens use telepathy to then speak to those students about their concern about the environment.
Right.
So they're here to study the nuclear power, maybe? I don't know,
But
and why it's bad, and try
That
to
happened in Zimbabwe and not Australia. Yeah. There's no telekinesis in Australia, right?
No.
Right.
There's just a location of a
There's
flying
just-
silver saucer balloon thing.
Balloon my ass. There ain't no balloon. There's no way.
The city of Kingston actually created a children's play space.
Okay.
The Grange Reserve UFO Park at the Grange Reserve in Clayton, South Melway.
Oh.
And it features a silver UFO with red slides to reflect the 1966 Westfall incident.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So they made a little theme park for the kids for it.
Oh yeah,
from
absolutely.
The situation.
They gotta create something out of it.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's a real event or not, I mean, they're famous for it now, and they got to memorialize it some way.
Right.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Tourism, man. You got to bring in the money.
Tourism. Gotta get it. So over the years, there have been different reports about the exact details of what happened that day, April 6th, 1966. Some people are claiming that there were 3 saucer-like objects instead of just one.
3 and then 5? Because there was 5 following.
But there was one saucer object. These people are
Right.
claiming that there's 3
Right.
saucer objects.
Okay. Makes sense.
But
Gotcha.
that's been over the years.
The incoming, right.
So people are not sticking with their story.
Starting to exaggerate a little bit.
So in the 67 years since the incident occurred, there has been worldwide speculation of what people actually saw. Some believe that it was an actual alien encounter, and others are thinking that it was just the government testing new technology. But that'd be a wild weather balloon, let me tell you. That thing would cruise.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see weather balloons today maneuvering that way. The way they make it sound like it comes in and lands, it makes it sound like it's a very abrupt and obvious thing that it's coming in and landing. I don't know if a weather balloon can move at that kind of maneuverability to cruise in and land so smoothly.
No idea. I've never driven a weather balloon,
No,
so
I know. I just balloon flight mechanics
don't
from what
work
I've
that way.
seen, yeah, have just never really worked that way.
just attach a jet onto the sucker.
Right. It's not. It doesn't make sense for this weather balloon
Look,
shit.
this isn't Treasure Planet. We're not flying giant ships in the air.
Exactly. I forgot about that movie. Yeah,
What do you mean? This is a good
it's a
movie.
great movie. Very underrated. The weather balloon thing doesn't add up to me. I can see how people would just brush it off because people just brush off lots of things in the daily life, but not here, not today. We don't
Not
do that.
today.
I ain't buying it. Not today.
One of the people that saw the object at the school described it as a round silver object about the size of a car with a metal rod sticking up in the air. So,
Whoa.
balloon with the metal rod. What?
With a big old rod.
With a big old rod.
For catching lightning?
Maybe.
Is it a weather balloon? Or are we back? Fuck this. We can't go back to weather balloon. There's no way.
I don't know, man. That doesn't make sense.
That would throw off the mechanics of the flight even worse, I would think. This is crazy. 300 people seen this flying spinner top car.
Spinner
Saucer.
top car.
Car saucer.
Car saucer. Or a silver car saucer.
Yeah.
Like a Mercedes Benz.
Silver spinner top car saucer. Was there ever like interviews? A lot of them got to be of quite the age now.
There was some, but they all, like you said in the last one, they all said the same thing.
Yeah.
Some things were varied from people to people because some saw 3, flying saucers, and then there's.
That's the problem with humans, man.
Right, we can never remember. Maybe it's all a fever dream.
It's just nobody sees the world the same way.
No, we all see it through different lenses, and that's the uniqueness of humans and how they think.
That just makes me think about how plants make noise, and animals can hear and see that noise differently than we can. So they're basically seeing a whole different environment and world. It's like all plants have like a harmonification or like a frequency. And dead ones scream louder and like more frequent, basically.
And every time you cut the lawn, that smell is grass dying.
Screaming.
Just screaming. So the fact that over 300 people saw this, and the majority of them have said the same thing, but over the years it has deteriorated. It really leads me to believe that some people actually saw something.
Right.
Other people saw something different because of said angle.
I mean, 300 people, yeah.
Right. But like I said, the majority said the same thing, kind of, just like in the last story.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the Ariel incident is similar with that flying saucer, it makes it more believable that there's more out there because everybody sees different things. Maybe it is weather balloons. We don't know, man.
I would like to believe there's more out there than what we have. That's just the optimism in me. I like to think there's more to explore and learn and interact with, and mathematically there's more life out there than just us. And I think it'd be very interesting to interact with those creatures, whatever they may be, if they're friendly.
So we got 2 schools, identical colored flying saucers.
Yeah, yep, silverish. One had a smaller group of 69 children between 6 and 12.
Right.
That supposedly had telecommunication about the environment issues. The other school only seen a saucer or 3 saucers fly by. 300 people seen this event, though. They claim that it landed and then took off again with other flying objects behind it. Roughly 5. Crazy. 2 of the biggest UFO stories, maybe, happen near schools or at schools. Is that a coinkydink or is that just the prank aliens?
The prank aliens.
The prank Prankins?
No,
Nope.
that doesn't
Don't know
work.
where we're going with that one.
That we can stop that.
The Pralians?
The Pralians, no.
No. Okay, we're
The
done.
pralines.
The Pralines, yes, the Pralines. Praline phone
Oh
home.
my god.
We are in agreement that it's not weather balloons.
It's not weather balloons.
We
but
do agree
it might
upon
be.
that? Okay.
It might be weather balloons.
Do you think so? Because I don't think so.
No, I don't think so at
Okay.
all. It could be going at high speeds though. These weather balloons with the
No.
jet fueled
Nope.
rockets.
Jimmy Neutron style? Nope.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
If you guys want to believe it, that's on you. That's okay. That's
That's
fine.
It's on you.
But we're not buying it here. I think it's aliens.
I think it's aliens, but they're pranking people.
Prank aliens.
The pralines
We got 1 vote pralines, 1 vote trying to save the Earth.
trying to save the Earth. Yeah.
They're harvesting us somehow.
Well, what? No.
No,
No.
I
We
don't know,
didn't
man.
talk about that at all.
No, I know. Yeah, I think it's aliens. I totally believe in aliens 100%.
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence about aliens?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, man.
You know what?
the
I'm
world
not
is
either
weird.
anymore. Yeah. You're
You
right.
just
listen
automatically, you're
here.
just like, nah.
No, because I have been looking at some things recently that have me questioning it.
I don't really have an exact answer
Right.
for everything, so I just chalk it up as to whatever it is
It's out of my understanding.
yeah.
But we are going to question it and talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thanks for stopping by, guys. Thanks for coming, hanging out with us.
We'd love to have you. It's much appreciated as always.
We'll see you next time.
See you and take care.
Okay, bye.
See ya. Bye.